Welcome to HearthBreakers with your hosts Monk Business, Dorothor, Sunny, and Hirudra. Welcome to episode 15 of HearthBreakers, the show where cards are played and hearts are broken. In today's episode, we'll be talking mostly about the new Blackrock Mountain expansion and the information we have gotten so far from Blizzard. But first off, it's been a long time since we have been making an episode, so let's get a swift introduction on what people have been doing in the Hearthstone area. Dorothor, you could maybe start off.
I've been doing nothing.
Nothing.
Legit.
I guess I've been playing a little bit, but not as much as I'd like to. And I've been streaming quite a bit more than I usually do, and I think I'll be streaming even more in the future, hopefully.
Awesome. What about you, Hirudra?
I think I managed to pick up Gaming DK tournament win or two since last time, and then for the upcoming BlizzCon qualification points thing you pick up, I finished 36 in January season, so I picked up 10 points, and then I finished like 120. I dropped out of top 100 like half an hour before the reset February, so still on 10 points.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but I'm hoping to get up there and get a lot of points in the upcoming months, so that I can qualify. That would be really sick.
Great.
That's like the plans.
Awesome. And lastly, Sunny Boy, what have you been doing?
Pretty much just been looking to get my decks more stable, and it showed quite a bit in the recent Gaming DK tournament, where my Paladin deck went 8-1.
Nice.
And I got a third place finish.
Not bad.
Cool.
What about you, Monk?
How did it go for you, Mike, in the latest Gaming DK tournament?
Yes! I
Where
participated
Chris
in the same one as Sunny and won that one, so that was awesome, I guess.
I guess that's what happens when I don't participate.
Yes, the great monk slayer Hirudra was not there to slay me, so I won. Yes.
That's good.
Oh, but anyways, the main attraction of this episode will be the new content from Blackrock Mountain and the new cards from therein. And so far, these cards have seemed really interesting. I think we'll just move right along and start with not the first card revealed, but the least expensive mana-wise. It's called Lava Shock for 2 mana. And it reads, deal 2 damage, unlock your overloaded mana crystals. And just to explain it, it unlocks both the overload that you're gonna get next turn, if you already stack them up, so you can see the locks coming in your mana bar, and also the ones you already have for this turn.
Oh.
So, anyone have some initial thoughts about Lava Shock?
When I initially saw it, I really quite liked it. I've always had like this. I really like Shaman, but I've never really been able to make it work really well. And I really like. I feel like the overload mechanic is really weak. Spirit Wolves is like really strong, but it just feels like 5 mana. If you play it on turn 3, you can basically just totem next turn. And I think this would probably make me play Spirit Wolves, because the card is really good. And like half the time, this would maybe make me... It costs 3 instead of 5 mana. So I think this really has potential. Not in the kind of meta Shaman decks, like the Shaman decks that are played currently. But I think you can alter the Shaman decks just slightly. Put in like Spirit Wolves, I don't know, Doomhammer maybe. And I think this card... can maybe go in there. I think I like it. Yeah.
It's funny that you say Spirit Wolves because I already play Spirit Wolves with my Shaman deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Great
But
effect.
yeah, I just don't. But I think this would be maybe like be the card that could tip the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you other guys? Any thoughts?
I like the card. I'm definitely gonna put this in my Malygos Shaman deck.
Yeah.
I'll probably only play one of it. I'll probably test it out with two in the beginning, but I definitely see one of them getting into the deck.
Yeah, I think maybe the thing is can it match Crackle or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the problem. You already have too many spells, and
Yeah.
it was already hard to put Crackle in it
Mm.
when it came out. Plus, you needed to have Ancestor's Call in it. So, but I think you need one for sure in the deck.
The way the way I see it with the current Shaman decks is that I don't think it would actually fit in the current Shaman decks at all. Simply because you have to consider that, yes, of course it does unlock your overloaded mana crystals, but it's also a 2 mana for 2 damage spell, which is not really good. In a class such as Shaman that has so easily accessible spells for low mana costs already. So, like just off the bat, it's not really good if you don't get to use the effect on at least 2 crystals, I'd say. Even if you get it only on 1 crystal, I still wouldn't say it's worth a slot.
It's just a smite.
Yeah, exactly. And and you don't really need a smite in Shaman decks.
Nah.
You don't need more spells to just do a little damage. The place where I'd see this spell actually be really good is in spell power Shaman decks or Malygos Shaman, as Sonny mentioned, where you actually have a lot of spell power on the board, where usually the amount of damage your spell actually doesn't matter that much, since you're able to boost it. So you just need something that does like 1 damage or something, and then you can give it +2 or +3 spell power and make it good. So if you give this like +3 spell power or +2, it does like 4 or 5 damage. In addition to clearing your mana crystals, where in spell heavy decks you already have a lot of lightning storms and lightning bolts and stuff like that actually give you overload, then I'd see it really good. But I wouldn't play it in normal Shaman decks that just, as you said, that run the Doomhammer and such, because you need those slots for Rock Biters.
Yeah.
And other cheap spells.
I think I agree that you need a deck that utilizes overload a little bit more. I'm mostly interested in whether or not Unbound Elemental could be good if the overload cards get better by Lava Shock's existence.
The problem that I see with Unbound Elemental is that the overload spells are usually in the more spell-heavy decks, and in those decks you don't really need a card like Unbound Elemental.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is fitting more in like a minion-heavy-ish deck.
Yeah, like the Unbound Elemental Ferrosphere combo.
Yeah, exactly.
So strong.
Exactly. So that's kind of the problem with Unbound Elemental, that the strengths of Unbound Elemental are good in the deck that's weak for it. Sort of.
Also, it's just not that great. Like, even getting a free 5 is not the best in the world. Anyways, let's move on to the next card.
Fair enough.
It is called Blackwing Technician. It is a 3-mana neutral minion. It reads Battlecry: if you're holding a dragon, gain +1/+1. And it's a 2/4.
Talking about Unbound Elemental.
Yeah, talking about 3/5s, right? Yeah.
So, thoughts?
I think it's really difficult to predict because we don't know all the dragon cards that's gonna come out. Like if you having this card now, it would be really terrible. Yeah, because they're like you can have the legendaries and yeah, that's it. Yeah, right now it would be really terrible. I don't I don't think it's gonna be that good. Maybe if there's like a deck that consists almost in like as much as there's mech now, maybe it would kind of have the same slot as Tinkertown Technician, something like Yeah, but then again, I think Tinkertown is just slightly better still.
Tinkertown is only better because you get the spare part.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
easier
but
to have
then
a
it's still
dragon
better.
on your hand than have a mech on the board.
That's maybe true, but yeah.
Well, I'd say like with the currently revealed cards, like there is like 6 cards revealed. Of course, like you said, we don't really know what kind of cards are gonna be out there for dragons. If it's gonna be a viable archetype to just run dragons, and if you assume that there will be more dragon type cards that will fill out the rest of the curve, not only be like 9, 10 drops and such, then I could see this card being really good. Also because it is a battle cry, so you literally like if you're playing a deck that has like 10 dragons in, like most of the time you're gonna get the effect, and then it's just gonna be a 3/5 for 3, which is pretty good, I'd say, as an early drop in a later-ish deck.
Yeah,
especially combined with the if you have like the new dragon that's also revealed that we'll see after this, then like this on turn 3 and that on turn 4, it's really good.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a lot of stat value, like pure stat value that you actually get for it.
Yeah, I guess it allows you to actually curves, like have the high drops dragons.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like it's a card that trades really well with aggro decks.
Yeah.
Because it has 3 attack, which kills everything, and then 5 health, which is good.
Yeah, I think
Well,
that's
I think
the point.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
allows you
it's-
to play
it's
the big
pretty-
dragons. Yeah.
It's pretty clear that dragon decks is mostly going to be like the late game decks.
Mm-hmm.
So having the 3/5 is for your advantage.
Yeah, but
I'm
I kind of hope they're gonna give us like some more dragons around the 3, 4, 5-ish field.
Well, there is Azure Drake and Twilight Drake.
Yeah, you have you have fairy dragon.
Yeah,
Kinda true, I guess.
they're kind of situation like I like Azure Drake. Azure Drake is good, like the one that draws.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think Twilight Drake would be good. Maybe it would be good because
Yeah, it highly depends on
it's-
how the
if
deck is
it's
gonna
lit-
run, right?
yeah,
If it's a late game deck, it's going to be okay.
I guess that might be true.
Yep.
But yeah, hard to say, I guess.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to depend on how many dragon cards is going to be there.
Yeah.
And if they're going to change any normal cards into dragon tribes, like they did with the mechs.
They aren't, because Dragon is already a tribe right now.
Yeah, they already are.
What's it called? The 3/2
Fairy dragon.
Fairy Dragon, yeah. It also reads
Let me
Dragon, as well as Gisera and all the other guys. So,
Yeah, I guess with mech there was a new tribal.
yeah.
In here it's just
Yeah.
new cards to the tribal.
Fairy
So
dragon is dragon,
Yeah, but if they can't make enough dragon cards to make it liable, then you pretty much have to make some other cards into dragons.
Yeah, but there are no cards that would make sense to make dragons. So
Okay, I was actually looking through
I
all the
think-
cards.
I hope.
Okay, mana worm, that could be a dragon.
It's a worm,
no,
though.
no,
It's
it
right in the
can't,
name.
it can't.
Come on, it's like the Pokemon card. Come on.
Oh yeah, but consider. Okay,
You
if
have-
we are sticking to Warcraft lore, then
Yeah.
in World of Warcraft it doesn't have any connection to dragons at all.
yeah, exactly. Like you have to consider the World of Warcraft lore.
Yeah, I guess.
Fair enough.
My predictions for dragons in general and this card, I think, will be Druid related, because Druid really likes having 3+ mana minions, where you don't
Blackrock
care
is good.
for 1 and 2 mana minions at all.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
And I think that's what dragon decks are gonna be. Some
Innervate this guy turn 1.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually really strong. That's almost the Yeti, right?
Mm.
So.
Yeah, it is.
But let's move on to the next card. I think that will be a little more interesting. There have been a lot of hype for this card. It's called Hungry Dragon, and it's a new
Super
dragon,
improved Yeti.
and it's
Yeah.
hungry. So it's a 4 mana, 5/6 with a negative battle cry. Summon a random 1-cost minion for your opponent. So
I'm really glad that Blizzard came out with a 4-drop that is actually potential to see play instead of all the others. Right now we only have Pilot Sky Golem.
Yeah, Shredder, right?
Pilot Shredder, sorry. Yeah.
All
It's
about
that, or,
the
it's that or Sinjin. That's all you play.
yeah, that's true.
No, yeah, teacher and
Teacher in one deck.
yeah, and Yeti in one deck. Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't seen Yeti in I don't know how long.
It's some out there in Magmage sometimes. But yeah, I agree. Shredder and Senjin is just Shredder is just
of the neutrals.
Yeah, of the neutrals. Yeah.
The trick is that many classes that want 4-drops have good 4-drops themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Mage and Water Elemental and what's it called?
Goblin Fag Mage.
Blast Mage. Michael does not approve.
He hates that
I
card.
do not approve of Blast Mage whatsoever. Well, Hungry Dragon. Right off the bat, I would say that it is mostly a 5/4. Like the what's it called?
Tails Strutter.
Yeah, the beast thingy. Where if you give your opponent like a leopard gnome or whatever, they can trade it into this, but they can also not do that, and then you give them options for doing other things. So that's the negative aspect of it.
And it could get really, like there are good scenarios where they get a 1/1 with no effect, kinda, right?
Yeah.
The Timberwolf-ish if it's not a hunter, but it can also be really, really bad, like Web Spinner. It's like just
You have
give them a card-ish, and if they randomly get Mana Worm or Nausea Cleric, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that it's much better than just I don't know, Shredder, for instance.
No. The thing is though, if you have a hero power that can ping it, that's positive, but that means it's basically a 6-drop. And for 6 mana you could get way better minions, right?
Right. Actually, what you're saying right now, I think I've heard so many times where people are only focusing on the negative sides of the card.
Oh, there's a lot of positive sides.
Yeah,
5
exactly.
attack, for example. I think that's a great
5
point.
attack is really good. 6 health is also really, really good. Like in the card itself, imagine if you have so it's a battle cry, right? That means that the minion, the 1-drop is spawned instantly when you play the card. That means that if you have any 3-drop, like all 3-drop can just one-shot 1-cost minions, like without losing much. Like if you have a Harvest Golem or the Spider Tank or whatever.
The 3/5 just saw.
Yeah. If you have any card, like you can just trade and then you have a 5/6. Like and then he's gonna play his Yeti. It gets one-shot and then you keep snowballing.
But if we stick to the theory that dragons are going to be late game, doesn't that imply that you want to have early board control? And
well, again, we don't know how dragons are going to be, but yes, of course.
In a kind of early curved control.
If you have like a mid-range, deck, I'd say this card is really good. Maybe it's not that good in super late game decks, but if you have anything that's early or mid-range, I think this card is going to be insane. And the random 1-cost minion, like I think people read too much into it. Usually it's like a 2/1 or a 1/2, and if it's anything that doesn't have 2 attack, it's even like you can just play it and it loses 1 health, so it's a 5/5.
Yeah.
So like
where you give your opponent to do something. That's the biggest problem for me. Is if you do not have a minion to go together with Hungry Dragon already, your opponent will get to act with the minion first because they won't have the summoning sickness on their minion when their terms come.
Yeah, but it's a 1-drop.
Well, you never know. A 1-drop can kill that random thing you have already. That put down or whatever, right?
Like power overwhelming, shit like that.
Yeah, but if it's a 1-drop that has 1 attack with power overwhelming, it still doesn't die.
Yes. That's true.
Even if it dies, it's still like he uses a card.
1 for 1, yeah.
Yeah, but he used 1 mana. Yeah. The thing is,
that's the worst case.
The thing is,
I guess it's the worst case, maybe.
It's not like, to be honest, I think Hungry Dragon's level, like power level, is very close to Yeti's power level. But
But
with
is it
the
over
difference,
9,000?
it has dragon. So if you
Only
need
Savannah.
like mid-range dragons, you might just have to use Hungry Dragon because there's nothing else, right?
Yeah.
So if the tribal is strong, I think Hungry Dragon will be strong. And the 5 attack is actually really great as well. Everything has 5 health. I would even go as far as saying Lost Toll Strider is better than Yeti. Kills so many more things.
Okay, one note. If you play this theoretical mid-range aggro-ish dragon deck, I think this theory, even like if they get a minion with 2 attack, so that it kind of goes to a 5/4, you still rather have it as a 5/4 than as a 4/5. I think it's the same theory as in Mech Mage. I think you'd rather have Blast Mage be a 5/4 than a 4/5, simply because you're actually playing an aggressive deck.
Yeah.
And 4/5s want to be played in more defensive decks, right? Yeah.
But yeah, in general,
Well,
like playing Hungry Dragon.
5/4 trades up, 4/5 trades down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's true. And if you have something that can kill the 1-drop, then Hungry Dragon also trades down. And a lot of 5-drops cannot compete with Hungry Dragon. Like, what's the strongest 5-drop played? That's Loatheb, and it dies.
yeah, but I think the important part is when you're looking at a card like this that has a random component, is to look at the 3 different scenarios. So there's like a bad scenario, there's like a mid scenario, and then there's like a good scenario. So in the bad scenario, your opponent gets like in a common bad scenario. Yeah, that's like a worst case.
Yeah.
But if it's a bad scenario, he gets a 2/1
with some kind of effect.
With some kind of effect. So in the bad scenario, you actually get a 4/5 or a 5/4, which we agree is still good. Like for 4 mana, it's good. Good enough for 4 mana, yeah. So it's like vanilla stats. In the mid scenario, it's like a 5/5 for 4, and in the great scenario, it's a 4/6, and then you have something else to trade, and then you just snowball and win.
Yeah, okay. The good scenario is if you have a minion on the field already.
Yeah.
Or some AoE that you wanted to play anyways.
Or they get a shield bearer.
Or they get a shield bearer. Exactly.
Best case scenario.
Like, shield bearer can fuck up your day though.
Yeah,
it can.
So 2/3 of the time it's gonna have better stats than like vanilla, and in the last one it's gonna have vanilla stats.
But you have to remember that people are not playing Lost Toll Strider in the random decks.
Of course, but that's where you consider
that's the worst case scenario in Darius.
Yeah, I know.
That's the same.
So it's all about how often.
All over again.
Yeah, the question is how often the worst case scenario is gonna happen, right?
Well, 1/3 of the time, or I guess not. I can't put it like that.
No.
Okay, do we like the card? Yes, no.
I think the card is cool,
Okay.
but I'm not sure it's gonna see play outside of Dragon decks.
I'm gonna play it.
I agree with that.
Oh well, of course I wouldn't play it in anything else but Dragon decks, or maybe
Maybe Droid actually.
Yeah, it's not
I could see
completely
it.
out of sort.
I guess you could maybe play it in some kind of aggressive curve deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Druid.
Mech Mage.
So,
But
okay.
Mech Mage.
Mech Mage doesn't have space. But
I would not play this in Mech Mage.
No.
Dragon Mage.
Dragon Mech Mage.
Mechanical dragons, yo. And flame strikes. No! Oh well. Okay, so Hungry Dragon. Let's move on to a warrior specific card. X-Flinger, also a 4-mana card. It's a 2/5, and it reads whenever this minion takes damage, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero.
Huh.
I love this card. Okay, warrior
Is
just
it
got
because of the beard?
No, a warrior just got a 7-mana pyroblast.
What?
No.
Yes, empty board. You play this and bouncing blade. That's a pyroblast.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I guess.
But you wouldn't play.
Quite legit though. And you kill your opponents, whatever, right? You're lucky enough.
No.
Oh my goodness. Please, Sonny, please never put this card in the same deck as Bouncing Blade.
What?
I'm gonna do this. I'm
Alright,
gonna
do
do this. Turn 10, I'm gonna play 2 of these and save my coin and then Bouncing Blade.
Correct.
Oh my goodness. On the other hand, when I initially saw this card, I thought it was kind of weak actually because I just look at it. It's just missing 2 attack compared to Yeti, and 2 attack doesn't kill much. 3 attack kills almost everything, but 2 attack doesn't really kill much.
Yeah.
But then if you played a really aggressive deck that is like full face and just wants to kill, like there is a warrior deck out there that's just like weapons and hit face all the time. I could see it being played in that deck, but I don't know. I don't find it having too much play outside of that specific deck, I think.
But you shouldn't focus on the 2 attack it has. You should focus on the 5 health it has.
Yeah, but
That's the good part.
But if you don't play exactly that really aggressive, just kill the opponent deck, the random maybe 2 or 4 damage it deals to the face,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
But that's the
of
point,
course
right?
it only fits in the aggressive decks.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not a trading
Right.
card. You just go face with this, and then your opponent have to deal with it. And when they deal with it, they take additional damage.
Yeah, well, you can trade downwards, but yeah.
So it pushes a lot of damage, I think.
I guess it opens. Maybe it opens a new path for viable warrior deck because the full face warrior isn't really viable. But yeah, maybe it makes it a lot better.
And this is extremely good with Cruel Taskmaster or Inner Rage and
Yes,
even
yes.
Warsong Commander.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of combos to do with the card.
I agree with Sonny. I think there's potential for this to be used in some kind of aggressive warrior playstyle.
I actually think the aggro warrior needed a card like this.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure it's strong enough. I honestly am not. I'm not convinced.
It's not a. I think.
Like, what spot would it take? Is it like it takes the spot of the 4/3 charger?
No.
Like, what do
you
you want
build
to
the
take
deck
out?
differently. I
The
think.
axe? You don't want to take the axe out either, right?
What you want to take
I would take
What you
out
wanna take
what's it called? The 2/4.
The
Like,
frothing?
Yeah,
But
frothing.
frothing is, yeah, I don't know. It's just.
But you
so
could
bit-
just make
Yeah.
a completely different deck, right? Where you focus on spamming the board with minions and going face instead of only using weapons. So, the thing about X-Flinger, where I see the huge potential, is the option where you can just go face, and eventually your opponent will have to kill the X-Flinger, and then they will take at least 2 damage, if not 4 damage, to the face as
like
well.
Lepino.
Yeah. So, I know that. But then, if they can one-shot it, of course, it could just have been a Yeti and gone face with 4 damage to begin with, right? But if you have whirlwind attack or whatever, then you can go crazy. Well, I think
Well,
there's potential, but
I think the place
I
for
agree.
this card is in like you said, in an aggressive warrior deck where you take this card in to deal with other aggressive decks and give you advantage. So basically, if you're in a meta that has heavy aggressive decks like Face Hunter, Mech Mage, and such, you want this card in your deck because you can play it and then you can trade all of their little minions without losing
Momentum.
tempo,
Yeah.
damage
Pressure.
tempo thing, pressure. So like you can raise them while trading basically.
and send a bomb into the deck. Ooh. For 10 damage.
It's insane.
Yeah, and then if you're.
And then
lucky,
if
they
it
draw
still
it.
hasn't taken any damage the next turn and the board is clear, you can play Bouncing Blade.
Ah, Pyroblast! In Warrior! What the fuck?
Imagine you turn 4 you play this card, turn 5 you attack face, and then play Bouncing Blade. Then it's still 12 damage.
Then you have 2 mana left.
Then you play an axe and you hit face, and that's 15 damage in one turn.
15 damage,
Amazing.
bro.
That's insane.
You can't
Insane.
handle it. I'm actually looking forward to bouncing blades. X-Fling of plays all day, all night.
The hype is real. The hype is real.
The hype is so real. And also, if you're good enough, you just kill a giant while you're at it, right? They play a giant, you play X-Fling a bouncing blade. The giant
your
dies
X-Flinger
and your
goes
guys
to one
stay.
health.
And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you do 8
Skills.
damage.
Imagine if you play a priest deck with the
Yeah.
6/4 mech dude, and then that guy gets this guy out, and then you play 2 times
Yeah, buff health.
buff
and
health,
Steal,
and then
uh,
not see the bouncing. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a bit too crazy. Whatever.
Okay.
Next card.
Yeah, okay, let's move on.
X-Fling strong.
Too strong to handle. Okay, so the next card will be a 5 mana minion, and it's a neutral. It's called Grim Patron, and it reads whenever this minion survives damage, summon another Grim Patron, and it's a 3/3.
Initial thoughts? It's
Sucks.
bad because it
Yeah.
needs setup from the player that plays it during the turn you play it. So
Yeah,
it's not a 5-drop.
Okay,
Kinda.
just to put it out again, it needs bouncing blade.
How? Wait.
Then you have a
Wait.
Between
then
each
you have a
time,
full field.
yeah, you
Then
can
have a
fill your
full
field.
Yeah.
Wait.
Someone
But
did the
because-
math, and it was approximately 40% chance for filling up your field with that combo if your opponent had no minions.
Damn it.
The problem is that it takes a spot where there are actually really good neutral minions already for any deck. It's fighting Loatheb, Asher Drake, Sludge Belcher, and I don't know, more stuff.
And it doesn't do anything on turn 5. It gets
No.
one-shotted by your opponent's minion. And it's like, hey, cool! I summoned a mind control tech without effect on turn 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it's a card that kind of needs set up during the turn
Yeah.
that it's played. Maybe in some warrior stuff with the weapon that whirlwind, so you can actually prog it without having to spend more mana during that turn. I don't know.
Despite. Yeah, if you play
that's fine.
the aggro warrior, you will have death bites, you will have inner rage or stuff like that.
But yeah,
So you will have
Inner
0
Rage
mana.
could be so
thing.
awesome.
but then
yeah.
this just seems so slow in that deck.
Yeah, that
Okay,
might be the
But
case.
okay, you said the same thing about Healbot, that it's too slow. It's 5 mana 3/3, but Healbot is still played a lot.
Healbot is not for
Yeah, but
an
you
aggressive
played
deck.
an aggressive deck.
Yeah, I know, but you still need to set. If you set this up correctly, it's not gonna be that slow.
I'd say even if you get the effect once, where it loses only 1 health, it's still not good enough.
Yeah.
So you have to get the effect twice.
But there's a big chance if you get the effect off once, you're gonna get it again, because your opponent can't deal with 2 of them in 1 turn.
Ah.
That's the thing.
How much? How does the charge dude work? The one that buffs charge. Is it 3 damage or?
It's 3 damage. Warzone Commander will make so that
So you
But
can you
it's
can,
blocked.
you can charge this guy. Imagine
yeah,
if
that's
your
a
opponent
really
has
cool combo actually.
imagine if your opponent has a Neutron out.
Or just
and you have
field
Warzone
in general,
Commander.
2/3s and stuff. Yeah, that's actually really cool. Then you can just drop it, hit.
Yeah, drop hit.
But that
That's
doesn't
a
work
cool combo.
though. Right now,
don't think?
Warzone
Doesn't?
Commander is bugged, so only minions you
What?
summon from your hand get
Oh,
charged.
okay.
Oh
Is it?
shit.
Is that a bug though?
It's a bug. They have been complaining about it on Reddit for like 6 months now.
no, that means I can't do the leper gnome trick
Exactly.
with the 9/7.
What do you want?
God damn it.
Baby,
I think
got-
Grim Patron is so situational. You need to
Yeah.
play like Grim Patron, hit your opponent with the last death charger, and play 2 whirlwinds or some shit.
And then they're all on 1 health.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
the
know,
thing.
It just doesn't match Sludge at all. Sludge, Loatheb, Asher doesn't match any of them.
Yeah,
But you can't compare to those because you wouldn't play
No,
those
it's way
cards
different,
in an aggro deck.
Yeah, I don't.
You need to compare this to an aggro deck where you play 5 drops.
but
but
in
there
an
are
aggro
none.
deck, you don't want to play a
You don't
free.
want 5 drops.
free.
That's the problem. I'm not saying this card is good, but you can't compare it to
You
that.
sound like you say that.
I'm gonna test it out, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah, I think it's one of those very situational combo cards where you can have some fun, but it's in the end just not consistent enough.
If you look at it into arena, this card will actually be okay. Because you don't have that much removal in arena.
Yeah, if you can defend one Grim Patron and trade what you want and just continuously make new ones, it could be good behind some kind of taunt wall.
Yeah, it's true. It
Electron?
can be used. It can be good, but yet again, it requires that you already have board control.
Yeah.
And also
So-
that your opponent's it does not have a
Doesn't
minion
have-
that hits harder than 3. As the only one.
What if you played it in Priest
Offset.
with Powered Shield and Valiant's Chosen and Circle of Healing and stuff like that?
But then it's just another card where you need to play it on turn 10 with all these combos and it gets removed by a Ragnaros.
No. You played like turn 6
With power
Or-
shield.
with Powered Shield or turn 5 on an open board or something.
Priest never has. The opponent of a priest never has an empty board turn 5.
Because
Yes.
Priest isn't
True.
aggressive enough.
Yeah, priest is.
But you could maybe make some kind of super aggressive deck with... Nah, I don't believe it. I
Basically, if you could like buff this card's health just a little bit, and then each turn you could heal it with your hero power, you'd just be unstoppable.
Yeah. I just think the scenario is so difficult to set
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
Yeah, of course, but
it's consistent.
Yeah, theoretically it's a cool combo and it could work from time to time, I guess.
in arena maybe. Arena Priest.
So I think it's a cool idea, but it's just too expensive for a combo card to be consistent, right?
I don't think it's LC playing constructed.
Nah.
No, I don't think so.
I agree.
Okay, so let's move on to the next dwarf. It's a 5 mana rogue specific or rogue class card. It's called Dark Iron Skulker. It's a 4/3 and it has battle cry, deal 2 damage to all undamaged enemy minions. So, Mars backstab.
Huh. What do you think, guys?
I don't like it. Just because it's to all undamaged enemy minions, so I can't backstab afterwards.
That's true.
Or before.
But doesn't it kind of help?
It's a massive backstab.
Yeah.
That's what it is, but you need some kind of prep blade flurry or
Well,
fan knives or something to kill everything.
It
because
does consecration.
Yeah, but it's still too undamaged.
Kinda, but yeah.
I think
The consecration.
I think it's actually cool. I
I-
don't think it depends on whether or not Rogue will be good enough with a deck that can run Dark Iron Skulker. The current Rogue deck cannot play it because it's not a spell. It's too expensive of a minion.
Yeah, the current oil rogue cannot.
Yeah,
but
and
I don't know.
Miracle
there's-
Rogue in general. All those kind of
Miracle
playstyles.
can't.
You need some kind of minion-heavy control Rogue.
There are.
The old control rogue where you had sabotage and big game hunter and stuff like that, you could see one of those in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't think you will see a deck where there's 2 in it.
maybe not. I think it's kind of
I'm
cool.
not
It's
so
like
skeptic, actually.
it's like a mini Baron Geddon.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
card is actually quite strong. But yes, I agree. I don't think it fits into the Miracle Oil Rogue thing that's going on right now. But I think you can, if there is some other rogue kind of control it, the rogue has a lot of cards that's good for control. All the early spells that can actually kill aggro. And then into Boom and Ragnaros, which has been played sometimes. I think this could be like a good midway drop. Yeah, I don't know. But yet again, okay, it fights all the other really good 5 drops, so that's maybe a problem. But yeah, this card I think I'm gonna try out.
I think what I really like about this card is that it kind of battles its own weakness in a way, where
it
it's
feels-
a 4/3, so it's it's weak against low drops that have it's weak against 3/2s or something like that. but it kills those cards. So it's gonna, like, if your opponent has any minions that are weak against the battle cry but good against the card, then they are gonna die, and then it's gonna only leave cards up that it can trade up for.
Yeah.
And you can also combine it on turn 5 with your hero power, where you can deal 1 more damage to something, either before or after. So, like,
Not before.
oh yeah, I guess I was thinking if it was a divine shield or something.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you're right, not before. So in that way, I kind of like it, because, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. Where, yeah, it has potential to be really strong if some kind of deck can spring out of it.
Rogue already have a lot of AoE, like the current decks, both Fan of Knives and Blade Flurry, so
Yeah.
that's... It, like, this card in Druid would be... I think that would be really sick, because Druid really needs AoE.
But it's still, I think it's a really, really strong tempo card or tempo swing card.
Yeah, it is. Like, if you can, like, live to turn 5, kinda, it can just sweep an aggro deck.
Yep.
Yep. So let's move on to the last card of Blackrock.
The dream is where it sweeps an aggro deck and leaves your guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
The last
Rend
one?
Blackhand.
Yeah, it's one before I get confused. So Rend Blackhand. It is a legendary 7 mana, 8/4. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, destroy a legendary minion.
Does that mean that if you are holding a dragon, you literally can't play this card because it will kill itself?
No.
No.
It cannot kill itself. There's no
Why?
cards in the game where you can target yourself.
Sure?
Because it isn't on the field when you
True.
throw the battle card.
Yeah.
I guess. Yes. I was just thinking like Big Game Hunter.
Yeah, if Big Game Hunter theoretically had 7 attack, could
Yeah,
it
but
kill
if
itself?
you have a dragon on hand and you have a legendary minion on the board, you can't play this unless
Yeah.
you kill off your minion.
Yeah, like Big Game. Yeah.
You have to shoot your own stuff, yeah. But I don't think there's a single card in the game that can target itself. It's just
No.
not in the game mechanics.
I guess.
You like?
Either way, I don't really like the card. I think it's a more expensive Big Game Hunter most of the time.
I think
agree.
it's actually really, really cool.
The stats are so bad.
Okay, seriously, who the hell in Blizzard loves making 4-2 and then moving to 6-3 now to 8-4? What's the next? 10-5? Come on! This is so stupid.
Well,
If it was a 6 6
6,
7? 6-7?
6
6/6 would have been
6/6.
really, really strong. I think
Yeah.
that would have been really strong.
Yeah, it would. Because
too
then it
strong,
would actually
yes.
be useful to... Like, then it wouldn't be utterly dead if the opponent isn't playing tons of legendaries.
Yeah.
The thing is, this card... Big Game, if you play against an aggressive deck, you can actually play Big Game on turn 3 if you only drop... Because it trades with some card. This card you can't... If you play it on turn 7, it's just so late. They can just throw 3 different minions down every turn that can trade with it.
But if they have nothing, that's 8 damage to the face.
Yes.
Or into a giant. Or whatever. I think
guess
4 health is actually... It's more
better
than
than 3.
2. Yeah. Oh, wait! And like you have
the
to
relevant part
trade
the
something
relevant part
into
being
it.
that most things do 3 damage,
Yeah.
like 2 spells.
And if
that's...
it eats a Yeti, right, it's not a good situation, but
Oh, it's an awful situation.
if you eat a Ysera first, right, then it's all right.
Then it's quite a lot better.
Or Deathwing.
Okay, even if this effect did not say you must have a dragon in hand, it would be better, but I still wouldn't
Way
say
better.
it would be good.
I still wouldn't play the card.
No, I would still
Ah.
play Big Game over it in most situations, I think.
If I played a
The fact
super
that it
greedy deck, I
does
might play
say-
this.
Yeah, but then you just die to my aggro decks. It's fine. The fact that it says you must have a dragon allows you to only play it in one deck,
Yeah,
which is like okay. I don't know.
that's true. You have to play
You can only play it in
dragon
one
decks.
deck.
Yeah.
And even then, if you if you don't have cards in hand, then you have an 8/4/7 mana card.
I think the kind of cool thing about this card is that it's sort of like a neutral spell for the dragons, I guess you could say.
Like
where
I don't know, like big game ish.
Yeah, but this is
I don't know. Maybe
I feel like this is better than big game.
The effect is better, I think, actually.
The effect
The cost
is
is just higher. The stats are worse.
Yeah, but maybe it's. I actually, the more I look at it, the more I actually like the card, because if you get the effect out, they have to use something next turn to kill it. They have to spend a card on it. They can't just leave it alone. The worst case is they big game it, but like the
big game is
what's
gone.
called the big game is gone, and you're playing a high deck, so high end deck. So actually, I actually, the more I look at it, the more I like the card. Or it feels like with the Nesingwary card thing, then they failed it completely. And with this card, they kind of, I think, hit just a sweet spot where it might actually be worth playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people comparing it to Nesingwary, and I don't think that's fair, because every deck plays legendaries.
Yeah,
Maybe
even like Mech Mage.
Oh, Sue doesn't.
Well, I guess one deck doesn't.
Sue and Face
Face
Hunter
Hunter.
doesn't play.
Yeah. But then
So
everything
that's
else
one
plays a
Leroy.
legendary, which will be good value.
Yeah, Leroy, but
If you're playing Nesingwary, there's like the best value is high main, and then they summon two 2/2s.
Yeah, that's still bad.
It's
so
really
stupid.
bad. Yeah. Where
I-
Rend, you can have situations where just
It
playing
just
it, and
wins.
even if it dies immediately, you got the value. You killed something that was 8 or 9 mana
Yeah.
worth.
The thing I like about the card is they have to deal with it. Like you can't just like with a big game hunter, it's easier to deal with, and you can like kind of ignore it. This card you have to deal with it on your turn, so like it's so good value if you kill any legendary that's not like a blood mage.
I
Then
think
it's
often
so good
people
value.
just shoot a Lothep, and that's
Yeah,
fine. That's good.
Lothep is even like Lothep is great.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
fine.
they have to like swipe kills it,
Yeah.
but then they spend 4 mana killing it and a card. Like it's
Yeah.
I think the 4 health, 8 attack. Of course, it could be better if it was less attack, but
Huh.
Yeah. The biggest problem is the dragon thing.
well, not even.
Yeah,
because-
I think we'll maybe see this card played in your Druid Dragon Ramp deck, Michael. I think that's probably a card I could maybe see, like really controlly, some taunts.
also helps Druid's weakness.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Getting rid of Rack. Rack, why?
Big game.
This is Michael's card. Anti-rack.
Can
Fuck you, Rack.
both shoot it and then trade into the next one.
Yeah. But
Kill all the Rack.
In
It's-
every single of Michael's decks in the future, you're gonna have one fairy dragon and this card.
just waiting.
And then the
What
Dwarf
you
will
want?
have it live all the time. I guess it's
But you want drag.
But yeah, it might be one of those cards where you just would rather have had something else. If the meta is too aggressive. But if the meta gets really slow, and if they nerf Big Game Hunter for whatever reason, I think this card is gonna be really strong.
I think this card is a really strong tournament card and less strong ladder card.
Ban Hunter.
But potentially really strong in tournaments.
simply because the format is more controlling.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not completely convinced, but you moved me towards probably trying it out.
At least I moved you a bit.
Yeah. It doesn't happen often. I usually just ignore you.
And worst case scenario, you just destroy your own Sylvanas and get their minion.
Yeah,
Oh, the place?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Place,
Oh,
turn
yeah.
6 Sylvanas, turn 7 discard. Yo, what you want?
Well, I don't know. It's not completely
Nah.
off, right? Sylvanas is probably the one non-taunt card that survives the most. Like, people don't
Yeah,
want
that's
to hit
true.
it because you don't play it into a clean kill.
No, it's not bad. Like it's actually legit. I think. Like they think that's better than destroying your opponent's legendary is taking it.
Yeah, that's true. And also in a
No,
Sylvanas
you would
versus Sylvanas stare down, you can seal their Sylvanas.
Yeah, that's just gonna wreck.
You can play this card and destroy their Sylvanas so he can take your Sylvanas.
Yeah, that's not
Idiot.
smart.
Okay, so I think we all came to some kind of conclusion on this card as well. So let's move on to the next area of talk. My English is
talk.
great.
Legit, and
Next
strong
topic.
English.
Money.
And it is money.
Yes.
Fat stack.
Oh, I love this area of talk.
Love it.
So guys, I just won.
Oh yeah, you did. You won money.
I'm
Congrats.
gonna dish out some money to all y'all, yo.
Make it rain. Make it rain. Come on, Michael.
Okay.
Make it rain.
So
Where are the dollar bills at?
a
Where's
lot of
my-
there have been a lot of talk about Blackrock Mountain being expensive, especially on the cheap Reddit side, where people are cheap and don't want to pay. But yeah, difference between Blackrock Mountain, and this is confirmed, is and Naxxramas is that the first quarter is not free. And a lot of people have been complaining about this, especially because 700 gold for one fifth, or 1/4?
Yeah, 1/5.
Okay, there are 5 wings then. Yeah.
Yeah, 1/5 of of the new content is gonna take 5 billion years for free to play players to get. And do you guys think it's a good idea from Blizzard's side to not have some kind of promotional event happening? And whether or not you think in general that Blackrock Mountain and these adventures are too expensive?
Well,
No, I actually don't. Well, yeah, make it free, please. But in all honesty, you actually get way more cards per gold, right, than you get from just buying packs. It takes way longer time getting all the cards if you have to buy packs. Like, I don't even have all the cards from GVG yet,
Yeah, that's true.
and I sadly did spend money on it this time.
But there's also way more cards to get.
Yeah, there are, but yeah, I don't know. Like, look at Nax when it came out. Look, like, there were so many cards that were actually played. In the relatively few you got, there was a lot of them that was played. So, but yes, by all means, make it free. I'd be really happy. But yeah, that's not how they run their business, I guess. And like, if it's gonna be kind of the same price, and they're gonna open a new wing each week, you can kind of earn the money as like the gold as time goes. Even if you just do your quest, you will maybe, like, if it's once a week, you will maybe like do like, I don't know, 400 gold or something in a week. Then you're like kind of close to 500 with daily wins. I don't know. Yeah, like.
Great.
I don't think it's gonna be that much. I don't mind that much, at least.
I agree with you, mostly because I know I'm gonna money grind it out, but I still think it's a good way to introduce it to new players, just by giving out the first wing, letting them test it out. New players that come in don't have time to money grind it, or stuff like that. They still get a benefit of it. Dario, please stop that.
Okay, would you prefer then that they made the first wing or quarter? No, it's not a quarter. It's 5 wings. The first wing thing free, and then make the 4 next equally more expensive, so the total cost was the same.
I would prefer that.
Yeah, actually, me too.
It's just a better way of introducing it to new players.
Yeah.
there was a Reddit thread about this, and I agree with there was a guy who wrote that like he wrote just his own experience, and he was like he said that one of the reasons why he came back to Hearthstone is because of the free knife swing. Like he had stopped playing it, but he
Internal jokes.
inside joke. But because of the promo, he actually came back to the game and he started playing the first ones, and then he was more encouraged to buy the rest of the next set, which I think is a really smart way to do it. But he said that he also kind of understands where Blizzard are going with this, and they probably have a lot of statistics on how good the sales went with the next, and they want to try it without, so they have something to compare.
Yeah.
Because it's still it's still new with the sets, and
Well, the thing is, it's kind of weird, I think, from the marketing standpoint, to not just have kept the first wing of Nex free all of the time. To just introduce people to this kind of play, so they know, oh, okay, this is what adventure is. Do I want to pay? Do I not want to pay? Right now, there's nothing for you to try out, and I could definitely get behind the way they're running Blackrock Mountain right now, where you have to pay for the first wing if the first next wing was always free. So you could kind of say to your friends, okay, try this game, try the adventure, then you can get some kind of feel of how, if you like the play style or not. But right now, there's just no way to kind of try it out, which I think is weird.
The thing is that I understand where Blizzard are going with, like, possibly they want to gather more data and compare. But from what I know about marketing and things like that, I think the more smart option is to make the first wing free, and then make the first wing really engaging and encourage you to buy more.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to promote your own content. I think. So, like, I might be wrong, but
they probably have some marketing experts.
from my experience, I think the way they did it with Nex is better.
From my experience, Blizzard is quite good at marketing, though.
They have eaten a lot of your money, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think they know what they're doing, and maybe it's to test what, like, if the sales matches.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So.
But Nex wasn't even that good. Look at the heroic part.
Yeah,
like,
that's another thing.
I haven't even done the heroic part just because I get nothing out of it.
Oh, so now you're talking about replayability.
Yeah. Do daily quests. Why not have quests that makes you go to Nex?
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
Some people mentioned that, oh, what if you don't have Nex? But that's an easy programmable option. Just allow the quest when you own X. Nex. X hacks. Well, so yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There should be some kind of quests from playing Nex, so there's some kind of replayability.
Yeah.
I myself played through the heroic challenges, and I'm gonna do that for Blackrock Mountain as well, because I found them interesting and fun. But when I had played through them all, I got this freaking ugly card back, whatever. And then there's no incentive for me to go back and play them again, because I already proved that I could beat them, and there is no reward for going after it again. Which I think is a shame, because it was really fun.
Yeah.
They should give you a award next to your profile where it says Master of Next Realms.
Beaten it 70,000 times! What a nerd!
and then have a timer where the total amount spent fighting Next Realms heroic bosses, so everyone can see just how much of a nerd you are.
No. They should do it like this, the South Park Ausnit, where they play the timer and reach the 1,000,000 points.
That Ausnit, yo.
Definitely do it like the South Park Ausnit.
It's episode, by the way.
I have an excuse.
Oh, the beer. Sure.
Cheers.
Okay. Were you gonna finish your sentence? Sorry.
I was finished. You haven't seen the episode?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought you guys watched South Park.
Nope.
They reached 1,000,000 points and they get so hyped about it, but the prize for reaching the 1,000,000 points is that it just says you are faggots.
Nice.
That's
There should be some kind of antisocial reward where if you play more PvE than PvP, you get a little banner.
I actually like that.
This guy plays only the bad parts of the game.
But yeah. So for Blackrock Mountain, is there anything that you're hyped on? Any kind of new card ideas that you hope will happen?
I'm hyped for dragons, man.
Dragons.
New Zealand
Yeah.
dragons. I love dragons. Dragons are awesome. So more dragons, please.
More
Yeah.
dragons.
I always like dragons. Yeah, I played it in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Would you say you like the heavy dragons?
Yeah, the heavy dragons are really good.
The heavy rush
Even,
dragons.
Exactly if they rush. Yeah, especially if they rush around. It's really good. Oh my goodness, so inside.
Do you like the two first letters of heavy rush dragon?
Oh, stop it, guys. You're stupid now. No one will get it. Michael, you gotta make a note below.
Okay, I'm sorry. So
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
No, you don't even know it.
Okay, but for Blackrock Mountain, I'm just looking forward to a tribal theme where it's not just spam as much as you can and get benefits. I think the dragon aspect, the holding cards and being late game kind of strategy is kind of awesome. I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, it would be really sweet to have a non-super aggro focused meta.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yes,
any
yes.
deck where any meta where Face Hunter is legit is emo.
Yeah.
I don't know,
agree.
it's just so annoying to play against. I'd really like to see that deck not being played. So
Yeah,
if
I
dragons
agree.
in any way can help me to accomplish that, that would be sweet.
But you can just play Hemid Nissingwell to counter Hunter.
They don't play beasts, bro.
True.
They don't
Okay.
play beats that you want to kill.
I can shoot web spinner.
Guys, I found the solution. They should just make Rexar a beast. So you can
So you can shoot his face.
I play that shit in every single deck.
It's brilliant. They have the technology.
The problem
We
is
have it.
you
We
won't-
have the technology.
you won't get 6 mana before you're dead.
Ah,
Oh, that's true. It actually does nothing. Okay.
Even then, it's a bad card.
Oh my goodness. We're too tired for this.
Okay, let's move on to the last topic of today. So, let me update this. So, there's a symbol on the video page. It's Copenhagen Games. So, in the beginning of April, there will be a big Danish LAN event. The biggest in Denmark?
the most
Question
famous
mark?
one.
The most
sure.
famous
Yeah,
one.
the
Okay.
most prestigious.
Yeah.
Okay. It's called Copenhagen Games, and there will mostly be Danish people.
No,
But this
yeah,
is-
in Hearthstone, but that's not
Yeah.
true. Like Counter-Strike is really huge. It's
Yeah.
not a major, but I think it's one of the non-majors that's biggest.
Yeah.
It's
It's like the step just below.
yeah.
It's actually a legit tournament in games like Counter Strike and FIFA and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really, actually. It was before, but it isn't now. Because
Okay.
there's so many majors, the tier 1 teams don't show up now.
Okay. I saw like Virtus Pro was
Yeah, they're the only one.
okay.
They're the only
Anyway,
one.
for
Anyhow,
Hearthstone,
it's a big ass LAN event, and
It's a
we're
big-ass
gonna
LAN event.
compete it in.
yeah.
And it's gonna be the format. It's gonna be Pinnacle format with the Coop system, where you can play against a matchup first and then decide to ban it if you have a bad hand or whatever. So you don't ban before the match, but throughout the games.
You have the option of banning as soon as a card is played.
Yeah.
No,
Then the match
before
is
any
locked.
cards are played.
Before any cards are played, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for anyone who has watched Pinnacle, they know the format.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna
cool.
be the first event we go to as a team, official team.
True.
And how can you guys, as a viewer, follow us? You can see each of our Twitters above our faces. And we will probably post information about streams and where you can see results. And we will probably post if we win as well. But if you want to
we will, yeah.
Yeah, we're not sure whether or not it will be streamed yet. And we might stream it ourselves if there's no official source. But if there will be any official sources, we will be sure to inform any fans.
Yeah.
I talked to the head guy running it. They are looking to make a stream, but
Cool.
it's not sure if they have enough time to do it. But they will try at least to have a stream there.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Michael said, we'll probably make our own stream for the finals or stuff like that, if there aren't going to be any.
Yeah, and if we're allowed by the crew to do it, that's kind of a requirement.
Yeah.
Yes.
We expect some high quality games, at least in the higher
playoffs.
brackets.
Yeah.
There are gonna be a lot of not well-known players, but good players
Yeah.
competing, like ourselves.
Definitely like ourselves.
So I think unless there's someone who has some final thoughts about Copenhagen Games, that this is the end for this episode.
I'm excited.
Awesome.
Apart from the participation in the tournament and such, we're also gonna make some. I think we're gonna make a lot of random content, like funny videos and things like that, which you can also check out, which I think is gonna be amazing. We're gonna make them in a cooperation with the Tricked crew, so it's gonna be a high production value, and it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
So
Yeah.
the future is looking great, and this episode is looking great as well. So let's finishing. Yes. Let's finish it up right while it's cool. So thank you guys for watching this episode, and we'll probably be making a few more episodes down the line when more Blackrock Mountain cards are revealed.
Definitely more reviews of the cards, since our last reviews were actually quite on spot with GVG. Unlike some
missed
other
Trucksaw, I think. Everyone missed
that. We hyped Trucksaw too much, but we actually
Everyone
predicted Dr. Boom.
Yeah, we predicted.
If you go back and watch it. So.
But we'll see if we hit as well this time on our predictions.
Yep, definitely. We've been very vague, so there's a big chance that we get corrected. Anyways, once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.